Oh no, wait, sorry. Let's go as far as 3. Let's not go nuts. And then, so we've got 3 numeric values. Let's add a character. Hello. These are all separated by commas. And then let's add a logical value in at the end as well. False. And hit Control Enter. And then you probably can't see this on my screen. And also, if things don't fit on your screen, you can move things around in our studio to however is useful. So you'll see that a list is printed out a little bit differently than a vector. So a list, the main elements of a list are printed down your screen instead. So this is element 1, was the number 1. This is 2, this is 3, this is hello, and this is false. And it might seem a little bit weird as to why it does that. No, so they weren't sensitive to the case. It was just that they need quotation marks, yeah. If I'd written it all lowercase, then it just would have printed it out as lowercase. So if you need it to be capital or lowercase, then you can do it as you need it. So now if we hit Control Enter, let's have a look up here again. So now you can see that the first element in the list is the vector, which has 3 values, true, true, and false. And then the other elements then are just individual elements. So does that make sense, how a list operates differently to a vector? And maybe could be useful. Why can't I find oops, there we go. In the list is the vector true, true, false. The second element is the vector 1, 2, 3, and then the third is the character string hello, and the fourth is a logical false. Okay. If that's confusing and doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. Vectors and data frames are the most important data structures that you're going to be doing if you're doing data analysis, at least initially. So the next most important data structure is a data frame, but I'm going to come back to that a little bit later because I want to talk about how you can subset vectors. So oops. Is there anything that has really confused anyone so far? No? Everything? So, let's copy and paste these days of the week and save them in an object called days. Except Friday, rather than doing days, well actually, if you wanted all the days except Friday, how would you do it with a colon? Yeah, so one colon 4. Another way that you could do it is by explicitly saying, give me everything in days except index 5, so -5, and that gives you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it pulls out 5. Okay, so that makes sense how you can select certain values from a vector. Okay, we're still going to go on to data frames, but one thing that I want to talk about before we go to data frames, which actually is fun, I promise, is functions. So functions is really how R does stuff, because without functions, R is just a pretty way of storing numbers and values. So a function is basically, you imagine a box that has inputs into the function. The function does something and gives you an output. And you know that something is a function in R because it has some name. It could be, you don't have to type this, some name that the function has been called by whoever made the function, and then open round brackets. And R knows that this is a function, and it turns it orange because it's recognized this is a function. Some functions don't need any arguments at all. You just give the name. You still put the round brackets even if you haven't given it any arguments. But most functions will accept arguments, so input, basically. It could be a series of numbers, it could be options, and all of those things go inside the curly brackets. So let's create a vector. Create a vector called myValues and make it so that it contains all the values between 1 and 100.